This is Random Ramble. What, where am I? What am I doing here? What's my name? Hey, no, what kind of number is it? Is it 32, 31? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Who cares? I'm under the weather, so yeah, I'm not thinking straight. Hey, my name is Beranie and you are?
Pred. Right.
Pred. How's it going, Pred?
I'm doing fine. I've been like really lazy today, which sucks.
Has its ups and downs, can you say that? I don't know. Probably not. What I wanted to say, but who cares?
Yeah. Wanted to get a lot of stuff done today, and haven't even started yet. And it's like 3 p.m.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Well, when did you wake up?
Not that late, actually. My alarm clock went off at 7 because I actually wanted to go to do some sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell asleep again, and I woke up at 10:30.
I see.
I got up.
Well, it was. I'm sharing my screen with you. Did you just see your almost freestyle thing there?
Oh, can you go back again? I want to see it.
I don't know what button to press to go back. Actually, no. Yeah, as always, Rocket League. We were just playing, and this is the last game we played. The game when we decided we need to stop because we were so bad.
This one, yeah, that game was fun.
Yeah, we completely lost our flow. So let's start with this one. Whatever. And we can look at it and see what went wrong. You know when.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think at that point I wasn't really playing very seriously anymore.
No, that always adds to the whole tragedy, right? Because you just start to play like half-assed also when things go downhill. Yeah,
especially when we say like, okay, this is our last game.
Yeah.
And then it starts out pretty bad, and then you're just like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah. Ooh, ha. So you, I heard stuff happened to you on a bus, like your favorite means of transportation.
Yes, it is actually my favorite means of transportation when the bus isn't too full. But yeah, like 2 weeks ago on Friday after work, I took the bus home, and it was a really nice and sunny day, and I was glad that the week was over. Mm-hmm. And the bus was really, really full. Sometimes, it's weird because in Hamburg we have different kinds of buses. We have like the small ones, which is like only one compartment, whatever you call it. And then we have big ones that are 2, and the huge ones that have 3. And I don't get it because like my line is one of the city lines, right? So a lot of people that work and get off work take that bus. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why it was a small one.
Does it go from east to west through the city?
It goes from, I think, the north of Hamburg into the city.
Okay.
And I think it's actually the only bus from the north that goes directly into the city.
Ah, okay.
The other ones you would have to take. You have to go like different routes over Wandsbek and shit.
I see.
But I mean, the bus was really, really full. Mm-hmm. Like really full. Like when I got in, and my stop was like really early from the beginning of the bus ride. So you would think not many people would be in there, but whatever. The bus was like really, really full, and there weren't any seats left, and I had to stand at the middle door, and like 2 stops after I got in, there was this old couple. My guess would be they were like in their late 60s, maybe early 70s. Uh-huh. They got in the bus, right? And like normally, as it is a custom in Germany, when you have an old couple that looks kind of shaky, the young people would, offer them their seat.
Yeah.
That's what normally would happen, right? But the thing was, the bus was so full and so packed, we were like standing, everybody was rubbing their bum against each other, that you couldn't really do that, right?
Yeah.
Not really. But there was this one woman, right? And she was like, I don't know, in her mid-20s. She was sitting right at the middle door thing. And she was sitting by herself in a 2-seat, and on the seat next to her, she had her handbag, and like she bought a cheap hairdryer, right?
Yeah.
Those two things, like the small box, hairdryer box, and
Bad
her,
decision, by the way. Buying a cheap hairdryer.
Yes.
Buying a good one is a good decision.
yeah, same as shaving materials,
Yeah.
shavers, whatever you call them. And well, basically, she was sitting there and she was listening to music. I don't know, and she had like no intention of clearing her seat for somebody to sit there. She just
But she realized that the whole situation was going on.
with the old couple, or
Yeah.
no, not in the beginning, because she just didn't care about the people around her.
I see. Yeah.
She didn't look at her surroundings or anything.
Hey, cat,
Because I was before the old couple got in, I was like, well, that's kind of like putting your handbag on the seat next to you when everybody's standing in the bus because they don't have a seat is already like a dick move.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was like observing her before the old couple got in. But then the couple got in, and the guy was just like a normal old dude, and the woman was she was pretty shaky, and she seemed like very, very shy.
Mm-hmm.
And the old couple was standing next to me, and then the guy says to his wife or whatever, his sister, I don't know what kind of relationship they had, and he said, well, why don't you ask that woman right there with the hairdryer if you could sit there, because there's a free seat.
Yeah.
So the woman goes there, and she tries to get the attention of the woman, but the woman just ignores her, right?
I see.
And
Yeah.
because she just doesn't notice her, or doesn't want to notice her. And then the old guy goes to the woman and he says to her, could my wife please sit there? Right? And the woman looks up at him and just like shrugs. And then she just like, shrugs like her shoulders. And you know that emoticon thing I post sometimes? Shrugging thing. That's exactly her movement, like with the hands and all.
I see. Yeah.
And then the guy he just flipped his shit. He was like, well, okay, if you don't want to make a seat, I'll just sit on top of you.
Do you think maybe she didn't realize that this was the only seat not taken and that her shit was lying on top of it?
No, because when the guy lost his shit, she said to him, why don't you ask somebody else if they would get up?
So she thought it was about her getting up of her seat and not her stuff lying on another.
I don't think so, because he basically said, can I sit there, and he pointed on her handbag and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was just like she was not like unaware of the situation. She was just a dick. That's basically what, because he said, like, she said to him, and she was like pointing at other people on another seat. Why don't you ask them to get up? Like,
I see.
She thought, her handbag and her hairdryer, that would be too much to put in her lap. That's like the impression she made.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then, but the guy just, as I said, he kind of snapped. And he's like, okay, so I'm going to sit there, whatever you do, like, I don't care. So it was like really tight, right? Because between the seat in front of the woman and her seat, there isn't very much space. So he started climbing over the woman with one leg. And then he started sitting down, like one butt cheek on the woman and the other butt cheek on the hairdryer. And he was always like standing up and standing down and sitting down, standing up. And she was like, she was like, stop it. You're hurting me. Stop it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And everybody on the bus was like really shocked by this whole situation. Yeah.
I mean, that's something you don't do, sitting on the strange woman. By strange, I mean stranger woman.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of a cool thing to do in this specific situation.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't like cool about it. He was not like, well, okay, if you don't make space or make room, then I'll just sit on top of you. But he was just like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And he was like really out of himself,
I see.
like really kind of crazy.
He was really furious.
Yeah, he was very furious.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
He was just. He was sitting down and standing up, like teabagging.
yes, exactly. It
Wow.
looked like bagging. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then she was just like,
That's
"You're
terrible.
hurting me, you're hurting me." Yeah. Well, and then the bus driver he just like stopped midway. And he broke up the whole situation, and then he wanted to like mediate. I don't know if that's a word, but the woman just got up and got out of the door and left.
Wow.
That was that.
So, how often does something like this happen on a bus in Hamburg?
Well, I've like in my whole time that I live here in this apartment, I've noticed 3 kind of crazy things happening on the bus. 2 were like racist related, and then this one.
Yeah, that's stuff that happens more often, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always like, I don't know. It's really weird. It's like this typical racist kind of stuff. Like, well, if you were German, this, you would know how to behave.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like, which is really stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Or-
most of the people that do that aren't normal people. They're like very.
No.
They're like crazy themselves. Or
Yeah.
like old people do it a lot.
So
Yeah.
the
Yeah, and
greatest thing you maybe ever told me about bus driving is the thing that you just told me before we started about
yeah.
that other guy that you met.
Yeah, I was going to work, driving to work in the morning, and this guy got in. He was like our age, his early 30s, and he had his cat on his shoulder. He was just sitting there. He got in, and everybody was looking at him and was like, "What the fuck?"
That is so awesome, man.
Never seen this in my life. And she was totally chill.
And he went in there, of course by foot, and then she was all the time on his shoulder.
Yes.
Already coming in there.
And when he was
waiting on the bus station at the bus stop, also on his shoulder, like a parrot.
I didn't see that. I just saw that when we were in the bus, and he was standing right next to me. He just put the cat down on the floor, and it just sat there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
should.
yeah.
I would almost think that you would need either extreme kind of training or like drugs for something like that to work.
That's same what I thought.
Can
And
you-
even like with extensive training, you could never know, right? It's like
No, not completely. I need 1 second. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna cut that out. Hello? Okay, we are back 2 days later because my internet works now.
oh yeah, that's cool.
Cats, right? That's where we were when we were interrupted, I think,
Yeah, we were talking about cats
on the shoulder and stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about our stories.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a small cat story. Our cat Janeway is called after Captain Janeway from Voyager because she's so fierce and fearless. But our cat is actually like driven by fear. Her whole behavior is just dictated by her fear, and she's a panic cat, so she gets panicked all the time. We had to take her to the vet for vaccination again. And last time, I don't know if you remember that she had to be pinned down by like 3 people.
Yeah.
And one person did the stinging with the needle, and then at the same time her blood had to be taken because she had heightened sugar whatever in her blood, like diabetes almost.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it was the same thing, and then the leg has to be like bound and stuff like that, so you can't just do that like quickly and without a big hassle. It's quite complicated actually to take blood from the cats. Anyways, this had to be done again. And like last time, she went completely crazy, and again she pooed onto the table and pissed onto the table and screamed like a motorcycle. Although she was basically under narcotics again, that made her sleep like the whole afternoon afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy how much power she can mobilize if she needs to.
So she was drugged before, and then she still went crazy. Wow.
Yeah, this time we tried to give her diazepam, which is like a Valium. It's like an anti-anxiety drug. And that worked a little, but then when the procedure started, she went crazy again. And then the doc said, okay, we need to give her basically medicine that you get when you get operated, and like that takes you completely down. What is it called? Anesthesia, right?
Yeah.
But not so much that she has to be artificially like breath machined, whatever.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Almost.
Oh,
But
wow.
that obviously isn't enough for her to be calm. So it's a pretty nasty thing to witness.
So even with the doctor's drugs, she went crazy.
Yes.
Oh wow! She's immune.
Yeah, I have a couple of videos of her later this afternoon in the flat back home again, and how completely gone she was, how drugged she was, and I can put them into the Ramble video.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And still, she managed to mobilize as much power that 2 people had to pin her down, and 1 dog had to do the stuff then at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think maybe she's had like some experience before you got her that made her that way, or?
We got her when she was 4, and probably, in some way or another. Yeah. Also, a couple of weeks ago, we had a child over for 3 days, like 4-year-old girl. And with her parents, of course.
The rented child.
Yeah, and the cat totally went crazy whenever she came close.
Oh, really?
It's like she had never seen like small humans before.
Yeah.
And had like a really bad experience with them.
Yeah, I mean, you have like these cases where like children treat their pets like really badly and the parents don't do anything. Maybe that was something.
Maybe, yeah. Could absolutely be the case. The thing is that we were speculating maybe she was. People left her in a box in front of the shelter, animal shelter. So maybe she was left there because problems with kids.
Yeah.
That's maybe what we thought. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you have like when you watch these YouTube videos of small kids with like dogs and stuff. Where they just like they like lay on the dog or lean on the dog, Yeah. And maybe that happened, and then the cat went crazy and scratched the kid, and then they were like, okay, we have to get rid of the cat. Yeah, absolutely possible. Well, if something like that would happen now, she would scratch the eyes out of the kid probably. Yeah. And poop in the sockets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we are planning to get kids very soon, so this is gonna be fun. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a interesting scenario.
Definitely. So I heard you have another story which
Yes.
came up like in between our 2 recording sessions now and 2 days ago.
Yeah. I can't really say who I've heard this from because it's a criminal offense, right? And I don't want to give too much detail on any individuals here. But basically,
Sounds
I
great.
Huh?
Sounds great.
Yeah, I know this guy, and he's a very smart software engineer, right? And on Thursday evening, the feds, like the federal police, came like at night, at, I don't know, 2300, and knocked on the door and completely cleaned up his apartment, like took everything, like all computers, all technical equipment, and whatnot, you know. And well, basically what he did was, you know, the emergency calls, right, for when there's a fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They transmit that over what do you call it? Phone. What is that?
Radio waves.
Yeah, like over radio. But what they also do is they send the digital signature to pagers, right? And he built this little device which more or less captures these digital frequencies, whatever. And then he wrote a website where all the messages and the addresses were displayed, were coming through. And the problem was he did that for himself because he's like into that kind of stuff, because he was like a fireman himself when he was young, when he was a kid, or like, you know, the voluntary fire thing we have here in Germany. And what he did was he made a website that was password protected, right? So you could just go there, and he was the only one that knew the password and everything.
Yeah.
The problem was he forgot to put a redirect. Well, basically, it's like, you know, you have the HTTP sites, and then you have the HTTPS sites, right? And you would basically create a site that runs on HTTP, and then you would put a redirect on your server that would lead that to the HTTPS site where you can then log in.
Yeah.
And the problem was he forgot to put that redirect in. So everybody that found that address could go on that website and look at the emergency calls and everything.
Okay.
Yes. And that's basically a pretty severe criminal offense in Germany. It's probably everywhere else. And so the feds took all his computer stuff and papers
Nice.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Even like police radio and
No, only fire.
only fire.
Yeah.
And he is like a transcript of all the emergency calls coming in at the fire station, or what is it? What
It's like
messages
I
or
think it's like
between the
dis-
officers?
Yeah, between the officers, it's like the dispatch. You know, when the dispatch center says like there's a fire there and there,
Oh,
you
okay.
have to go there.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
And
What's even more crazy is that these aren't encrypted.
and he's oh, okay, I see. And he's a colleague of yours.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to. No, yeah, no, he's not. He's somebody I know from university.
Ah, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But why am I not surprised that these aren't encrypted?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's not. There's not that much of a reason to do so for the fire dispatches, I think. But imagine, like, I bet it's the same situation for police stuff, right?
Yeah.
I would just guess that it's the same technology.
Yeah, I would guess so too. And I remember, like, in 9th grade, our physics teacher said that there's like a really easy way to manipulate like old radios so that they play, you know, because the police and fire frequencies are below the FM frequencies you can tune it into a radio, right? You have like a certain range from 800 to, I don't know, 1400 or whatever it is. And the police radio frequency and stuff like that is below that.
I see, yeah.
And he told us that you can like manipulate every old radio to listen to the police stuff. You wanted to.
That's also very interesting, but
Yeah.
that probably wouldn't work anymore because I bet it's all digital in some way or another.
I would guess so too. Yeah.
So probably you wouldn't even be able to receive the signal because it's not anymore like standard wavelength terrestrial radio waves.
Yeah.
Very interesting and very crazy story indeed in a way, on several levels.
Yeah.
How did they find out? Did some civilian find the website and then tipped off the police?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, he had a lot of visitors on his website, but he didn't know, right? Because it was like a different website that he never visited. It was just like a copy of, of the website he was using.
I see.
And yes, somebody took screenshots and then went to the police.
But he's okay.
Well, yeah, he's okay, but he's facing some hefty charges.
Okay.
On that.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Or not. I mean, it's kind of his fault also.
Yeah, it is his fault. I mean, he did something wrong. I don't think he meant to do anything wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the way it is.
What would be good is actually if the police people and fire people would start to see that there's a problem with their security and work on that according to happenings like that.
Yeah.
But that is probably not gonna happen.
Probably not. I mean, like all these states, whatever, they're so like rigid. I don't know how you say that. They like to change, you know. It's like, they buy something and then it has to last 15 years and
and nobody knows anything about this kind of stuff anyways.
Yeah, because they take like the cheapest company to implement their stuff, right? And then and then that was it. There's nobody there that knows about it.
That would be my guess exactly. They like contract some company that knows what it's doing and isn't expensive exactly. Maybe knows what it's doing.
Who knows? But would be my guess.
Encryption is like one of the most interesting topics right now, I think. You know what is kind of funny and interesting, that the game Clandestine, which I'm playing with Sunesha, it plays in the 90s, right? Middle or end of 90s. And it makes encryption to basically its main topic at some point in the game suddenly, because that's exactly the time when all the fuss really started up, like when the first laws were implemented that the US government should have access to all that shit, like in a broad they put it in such a broad manner that it's still applicable today. I don't know who did this. Was it Reagan or Nixon? I always mix them up.
I don't know. I have no clue about American presidents.
Yeah, but that's the same law that that they are using today.
Oh, really?
When they go to the tech companies and want their user data, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Which Apple was not playing that game with them, you know.
Yeah, and then the FBI still managed to hack the iPhone.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, it's weird because there's also a law that basically said that if you are able to get into that iPhone, now let's talk about it specifically, but it's also, of course, very broad in that law, then you can't make the company give you a backdoor if you have some other means of getting into the data.
Okay.
So people were speculating that maybe Apple even, let someone come forward and hack their phone out of their own ranks, so that they would circumvent that law that they had to give them the data.
Okay. Okay, but then but wouldn't that be weird because Apple was making such a fuss about not giving them their data?
Yeah, because then they would have had to give them, basically like a general backdoor into all of their stuff.
No, I get it. And they just had somebody help them with that one phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's how it worked, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. But generally, I think that's a very interesting case. I also think like Apple as a company doesn't give a shit about its users' data. Like
Yes.
I think it's an economic decision not to give that kind of stuff away right now because they're kind of they were on a downtrend,
Yeah.
in terms of public opinion of the company, and also probably financial trend wasn't like growing anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that was more or less the economic decision. I'm not saying that the people who work in Apple aren't pro encryption and whatnot, but I think the company just did what was economically most clever at the time.
Yeah, and I think that Apple doesn't use encryption as something they do for the community or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they have like the biggest market share in business phones, right? Because every business has like Apple phones because they're more secure and more protected than Android phones. So if they would start giving out like, here, you can hack every iPhone now, they'd probably lose a lot of customers.
Yeah.
So
I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard. That Apple has like is on top of the market when it comes to like big businesses giving their employees phones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say something else about that, but I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, and I think it's pretty cool that Facebook decided to encrypt all the WhatsApp data, on the heels of that whole FBI, NSA, Apple thing.
Oh yeah. But that end-to-end encryption.
Mm-hmm.
That is like with phones and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not very secure.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with. How am I gonna say that? It's like people using these phones or using WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier for the FBI or for the NSA to get hold of somebody's phone or to put software on the phone that they can read everything on the phone and see everything on the phone than just going in the connection between two phones and then getting the data there.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean. It's like having
and then that's useless. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the biggest weakness is always like the guy sitting in front of the computer and not the computer itself. You know what I mean, or the connection.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I always say, oh, that's really great that they do that, but it's. If they want access to your phone, they will get access to your phone. And if they use like an unsecure app or something, right? And just install one of those spyware things where they can just like read everything you put in the keyboard, that would be like a much easier access.
Yeah. Completely believe you. Probably very easy to gain, access or to watch what's happening on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that's true.
And that's why I always smile when people are like, oh, we need end-to-end encryption for email and everything. It's just like, well, you have like a 4-letter password protecting your email and you want end-to-end encryption. You know what I mean? It's just,
absolutely.
Whatever.
Although, pretty good privacy encryption is more or less also an end-to-end encryption thing, and that is pretty secure if you keep your general computer secure. And that's always the thing.
I think what I think it's like end-to-end encryption is great for when you are afraid, or that's happening, like that governments take like mass data. They just record data even though they don't really need it, but in the case they need it, they have it recorded.
Yeah.
You know what they do, like where they built that huge data center in Utah to store all the information. I think for that it's pretty good. You know?
Yeah, that's true, because then it's not in there, just not part of that bulk data or unreadable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I mean, if they then want to use something against you because, I don't know, you're like a terrorist or whatever, they probably just hack your phone.
Do you know what is most sad about all of this, actually?
No.
That it's a topic like dominating tech, news, and politics. And I bet 90% of like the people in politics who are making these decisions don't know anything about it, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't matter which country you go to. I think that's probably everywhere the same.
Yeah. That's always what I. That's why when I went to that school to have that talk about internet in your private home, and whatever, and that was like one of my main things too. It's like, all this talk about email encryption, and you need like a 128-bit encryption, blah blah, whatever. That's like 2 steps
too far
ahead, too far of what should actually be happening, like with people. And it's so funny because company they use that to make money. They're like, oh, we have this product and we have the super encryption, and people start buying it, and the media supports that. And they're like, oh, we need encryption because it's going to protect us all. Everybody's like falling for it, and it's I don't know, it's weird. But nobody knows like the basic stuff about computers.
Yeah.
Most of the people.
That's true. It's really weird. And it's kind of the nature of the thing that it's complicated, and you have to really dig into to understand the basics even. But I mean, that's really the nature of encryption, that it's really complicated mathematical thing.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's. If you want to like encrypt something, or if you want to decrypt something, that's very complicated. But understanding either like an end-to-end, like a, how do you say that? Is it asynchronous? I don't know what the English word is. But that's like pretty easy to understand, like how it works. But I mean, it would be hard to do. You don't have to explain any mathematics to explain encryption. No,
that's true. That is true. Yeah. So my point really doesn't stand. You're right.
Yeah, but but the people are still lazy. They don't care. They're like, okay, I want to buy a device where I can write messages to my husband or my wife. That's all I want, and I don't care how it works.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Just bought my mom a smartphone. I think she gets it, by the way, which is pretty great.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah.
At least she gets the most basic stuff that she wanted to have, like being able to take a photo on that phone, sharing it over some instant messenger with the family.
Yeah.
I didn't really see her understanding it, but she did.
Yeah, that's great. My parents like started pretty early with that. But my bet would be, if I would give them, like, if they have never had a smartphone, I would give them one now. They wouldn't be able. So that would be like my guess. So how old is your mom?
She's almost 70 already.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So our parents are almost the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. I see. I agree. My niece is always there, like my 10-year-old niece, to explain stuff. Because honestly, my sister and my brother, they have no idea also. Because, I'm sorry, because my brother only uses like iPhones, and my sister doesn't know anything, basically. I mean, she knows how to use that stuff now, the basic functions that she uses. Just very similar to what my mother wanted to use, but she can't explain anything of it or really get to the bottom of a problem if there is one. And my niece, like, she intuitively can understand these things already well. That's a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. I was having a discussion with a colleague on that. about mathematics, because there was this news article about that the University of Saarbrücken, which is somewhere in the southwest of Germany, there had like mathematics for computer science 1, so first semester, and they had one semester where 95% failed the exam.
Yeah.
All right. And so we were talking about that because both of us have taken that exam, and we like it's similar, right? It's the same kind of mathematics. And we were talking about what kind of bullshit mathematics, like I don't know. I mean, your girlfriend does a lot of high complicated mathematics now at university, so I can't really talk about that. But like the basic computer science mathematics, what kind of bullshit that is, because why people fail these exams is because of the algebra, right? Because you have the concepts are not hard to understand, but if you have to do the math, these endless algebra equations bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Where, like one mistake in the whole exam, and one of the simple quote unquote algebra will like net you no points.
Yeah.
And that algebra is like 10th grade. So, if you had students, or if you had people from schools who would be perfect in algebra, they wouldn't have any problem passing that exam.
I'm sure, yeah.
But the problem is like math in school is just so abstract all the time.
Yeah.
It's just so, you don't know why, you don't know what it is for. And so people who are like 14, 15, they can't be bothered to really learn that algebra.
Yeah.
So I was talking to a colleague, and I was like, well, like, for example, encryption, right? You could basically combine mathematics and informatics, like computer science, in schools, and make it fun and interesting. Like you could say, for example, well, do you want to make like a secret code where only you and your friends can talk to each other, nobody else will understand. And everybody would be like, yeah, oh, that's damn cool.
Yeah.
And then you would be like, okay, then let's do like the mathematics for that, or let's write a program that does that with that mathematic algebra stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that would be like much better, because then people would know why they're doing something.
Oh, no question. That would be like hands-on and fun and exciting math.
Yes.
In contrast to, like, I don't know why I'm doing this math.
Yes, I mean, you remember like school mathematics, right? It's just like, why?
It's terrible, yeah, of course. Maybe it's even better if you're going intense, like what is it called in English, Leistungskurs, like if you're going full on math graduation.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's a little better, but it was terrible for me, at least.
Yeah, and even in university, it's terrible. It's like you go to that mathematics course, and they're like, okay, well, you all are very good in algebra, so we won't explain that. We'll just we'll just go on. But you still don't know what it's for. Like, and then in the course of the computer science, whatever degree path, whatever, you start noticing like years later that, oh, that's what I needed that for. But then you of course have forgotten everything about it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, I agree completely. Well, I'm so far removed from mathematics that I have no idea if it's even easy to like provide that kind of school math system. But I imagine it's not, but it's probably possible in some way to make it at least a little more interesting. Yeah.
I mean, for example, I've heard, I don't know anything about this, but I've heard that like making games, like programming games, for example, is supposed to be very complicated and very math heavy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so wouldn't it be like really awesome to do something like that for kids? Because I mean, every kid likes computer games. And then if you would have like a course where it's like, okay, these 2 years or whatever, we're gonna make this computer game.
Yeah.
And then kids are gonna be like, well, okay, I want this in the game to happen. So how do I do that, you know? And then they start learning. Then like, okay, I need that kind of math, and then they start learning that math because they want to really do that game or make that game. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. That would be cool indeed. What do you think? Do you know when kids get some kind of informatics lessons in school? Because I know
Like,
that my 10-year-old niece doesn't have anything yet, which is already, I think, way too late.
Yeah. My girlfriend's sister had informatics in school, and I think it was 10th grade. But it was only like a year, and they only did like yeah, I remember because we were talking about it a little bit where I was like, okay, I have like programming in university, and she was like, oh, I had that in school too, and then she told me a little bit about what they were learning. And it's so weird because you know what they learned? They did I think Java, but they didn't really program anything. Well, they did, but just a little bit. But what they mainly did and what the exam was about terminology.
Okay, yeah.
Like what is an object or what is a class, that kind of stuff. Where I'm like,
which is important, but it's like it's at least 50%, but it's actually less than 50%. So why don't you do the rest?
Yeah. I mean, it's important later when you like work in a team and everybody knows what they're talking about, you know, and you can communicate about it, whatever. But like the basic principles of like a programming language, you know, that way of thinking. And there are even like programming languages out there for kids that teach you that kind of thinking. And I think the kind of thinking that you need is much more important than the terminology. So,
definitely, yeah.
So I would think, you know, why don't they teach them just the concept of thinking?
Absolutely agree.
Later on, when they go to university or like higher grades, they can start, you know, start to learn the terminology for like one like language.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's the wrong approach. I agree.
Yeah, well, that's school.
Yeah, that's school for you there in the basket. Oh, are you sick too, man?
No, I just had some dust in my throat. Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't been using my microphone very often in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Are you planning any Let's Play projects or anything?
Oh, I have to finish Town of Lights.
I mean, it's not that long of a game, right?
It's like 1 hour left or something. Yeah, I wanted to get back to it for like weeks now, but I'm always like, too lazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that. I wish I was like healthy again and had more time alone in the apartment. Then I would do something again. But I was just dead for the last 5 to 7 days, basically.
Well, yeah, you were really sick.
Yeah, I wasn't as sick like for 15 years at least. I don't know. It was terrible. Anyway.
Yeah. I thought about doing Dark Souls 3 New Game Plus. Because like I thought about doing that for Dark Souls 2 like back then. Because you know everybody does a Dark Souls 2 Let's Play. But then I was like, well, I want to see like a New Game Plus Let's Play now to see what the changes are. And I couldn't find that many. So I thought, you know, maybe that would be something interesting.
You know what would be kind of cool? To play through all the Dark Souls on the channels. On the channel, not on the channels. We only have one.
Yeah, that would be cool, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're playing Dark Souls 1 at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saving up a little money for different stuff, and I can't like justify buying Dark Souls 3. So I decided, why not finally finish the first game, then go to the second, and then at some point I might have some money to spare to buy the third.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that was
probably
my
going to be
thinking.
on sale by then.
Yeah, probably. Although I'm kind of really going through the first one very quickly. I think 8 to 9 hours in or something, and yesterday I had session that was really fruitful, and I played against Space Butterfly, the Bell Gargoyles, and Havel.
Yeah.
I beat them all, and I didn't die once in between. That was like crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I did summon the NPC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Summon sign people, but and they make it a lot easier. So I probably would have died a couple of times at the bosses if I would have approached them alone, but I didn't.
You need them like sometimes for quests and stuff, right? They need to beat certain bosses.
Okay.
When there's like a summon sign. Yeah, like I don't know about 1. I don't really remember, but I think like in 2 it's a lot. There's even one NPC you have to like summon for 4 bosses, and so she has to be there for 4 boss kills. And if she dies, right, it's you fail the quest.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Well, I can definitely say that witch that you summoned to fight the fucking butterfly is really fucking helpful. She just shoots away with her magic beams at Mothra, and then Mothra died basically like very quickly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was really helpful. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the right tools to fight her again. To fight her, actually, I think, because I'm not fighting a magic character or anything.
Yeah, having the right tools is something I have noticed in Dark Souls 3 a lot too. When there are like enemies that are really, really weak to fire, and if you have some sort of fire damage capabilities, they're like really easy to beat. But if you don't, they're like really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't have any ability to do any fire damage. And so
I feel like generally in Soul games, if you know what you're doing, if you know the systems and the underlying principles of any encounter that you're facing, it gets like it's suddenly gets easy. And if you don't know, it's like it can be insurmountable. It's you know what I mean. So if you really get rewarded for knowing what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you know all the weaknesses and resistances of the enemies, that's like a big thing. And then of course, if you know the patterns, I think if you know the patterns, it's basically like really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people playing through the whole game on level 1 with never leveling ones naked. So, and they probably just know every pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everything.
And to be honest, the boss patterns in 1 aren't like too crazy.
Yeah.
And the timing for parries, for example, isn't like too hard,
Yeah, but that's like one thing that I've noticed and that Epic Name Bro talks about a lot. Is that like backstabs and parrying are very, very easy in 1 compared to the other games. Like in 3, it's very well balanced because you can get backstabs if you're really good, right? And you can get parries if you're really good, but they're not easy to do. In 2, they're almost impossible. Like getting parries and backstabs are almost impossible.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snisha said something similar yesterday, and I think you're probably right. Yeah. You're both probably right. But yeah, he said also that in 2, the system was designed in a way that you basically wouldn't even try to do parries, because your reward, your risk was very high, but your reward was basically non-existent also.
Yeah. One thing I don't like about 2, which I really enjoy now in 3, is that the fights are not unfair. Like in 2, you will encounter a lot of fights that are just like unfairly designed, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to fight multiple enemies at once. You get rushed by multiple enemies at once. So you basically almost you die. If you don't know the part, you will just die.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't really matter if you're like really, really good. In 3, it's like really awesome balance. You have like really tough fights, but they're never unfair. So every time you die, it's always your fault, and not some kind of like game mechanic that is just
artificial,
overwhelming. Yeah,
artificial difficulty, or
yeah.
I mean, I plan to play the second game, I think, but if it's too fucked, then I'll probably just go to 3.
The second game is awesome. I think like having like seen like 1 multiple times in Let's Plays, and jetzt, really nice German word. And now having almost finished 3, I have to say, like in my opinion, that the overall atmosphere of the levels and the level design is most awesome in 2. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I think, like there's some really atmospheric, breathtaking levels in 2.
Wow. Okay.
Which are really like, I don't know.
Because I heard that in 2 it's. What did Sinisha say yesterday? I did talk to him about it a little bit, and he said something different. He said something like it's too many castles in 2 or something like that. Might that be the case?
Well, like too many castles in 2.
Too many repetitive castles? I don't know.
I think like if we're talking about too many repetitive castles, I would talk about 1.
Yeah. Although the level design in these castles in 1 is always so great that.
Yeah.
And I like the atmosphere of the castles there generally, but I know what you mean, yeah? There's a lot of them.
Yeah. What people were saying about 2, which a lot of people didn't like, was the level design itself. Because people were coming from 1, and 1 was always known for like very intelligent level design, where you suddenly come out of a door and you're like, whoa, I'm here? What?
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
That kind of feeling. And that's like definitely not there at all in 2.
I see.
And people were saying that is like a disappointment.
I understand. Yeah. That is kind of a disappointment, because that's what I love about 1, and that's what I mean, I haven't played it, but seen the Let's Play of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Same with Bloodborne, I feel.
Yeah, and it's not like that in 3 either. 3 is very linear.
I see.
In that sense.
Well, doesn't mean it's bad. But is everybody right that 3 is maybe the best of the Dark Souls, or what do you think?
I think, I mean, what it comes down to in like Dark Souls is always like, for me, the game mechanic itself, like the fighting and the jumping and the enemy design and what they do and
the jumping.
Jumping?
Did you say the jumping? The fighting and the jumping?
I don't think I said jumping. Did I say jumping?
You said a word. I understood jumping.
No, I don't think. I don't know. I've never really jumped. I probably said something else. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think that's the best game, definitely. Like compared to 3, 1 and 2 just feel clunky, like character movements, fighting, and 3 is really smooth and fast. And
I see. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to playing it. I saw some screenshots yesterday. That's the first thing basically I really looked at, like, at all, and blew my mind.
Oh yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah. It's extremely beautiful. Is 2 and 1 the same engine?
No, 3 looks, in my opinion, 2 looks much better than 1.
I read that 3 is definitely a new engine, so I thought maybe 1 and 2 were the same, just implied by that. But
it could be the same engine, but it's, if you get the Scholar of the First Sin, it's definitely like all HD and shit. It looks really good.
Yeah,
and the lighting and stuff.
I don't have that version, which bugs me a lot.
Oh yeah, you can't play the old version.
Yeah.
The second version is so much improved.
But you can't just buy a DLC, or can you? You need to buy the whole fucking thing again.
That's a good question. If you buy all the DLC, I think it's more expensive than the...
Yeah, that was the whole thing, right? I remember we having that talk already, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. But you can get like Scholar of the First Sin for like €15 at a reseller.
Yeah.
What's up with Steam prices, by the way? It's crazy.
How do you mean that?
Like new games. Like I bought Dark Souls 3 for 35 euros.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 60 euros on Steam.
Isn't that normal?
I don't know. I always thought that at least Steam was like normal priced, but it's like overpriced. It's like one of the most expensive options.
I think the 60 euro price is the standard price, isn't it?
Well, like if you go to another online shop and buy it, it's like 40 euros.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that the resellers, I don't know how they get these coals fell off a truck, you know?
No, I don't think they do.
Well, but they get them in like a gray area, legal manner by like getting them out of countries where the prices are lower and then selling them.
No, you know what
Something
I
like
think?
that.
I think it's just that that it might be because of the refund system. Because like the resellers don't offer refunds. You can't get any refunds from them. So you pay the 35 euros and they have the 35 euros. And for Steam, you know, if I buy a game for 60 euros, I can just refund it. I think that has something to do with it. Because, I mean, to be honest, they're like, you have like resellers where you have this gray area, right? But there are very, very legit resellers that have the game for 20 euros less than Steam. Like non-Chinese based resellers.
Yeah.
There has to be like something different about it. Because I mean, no company would allow that. You get like everybody buys their game for 20 euros, then that what you want for it.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know the details about that kind of stuff. I think it's there's probably good reasons why they are cheaper in some way, but I can't tell you why. I was just assuming that it's some kind of price shuffling.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's,
but generally, if you were to go to like a brick and mortar shop, you would pay $60 for the
physical.
So I think that's like the standard price, which isn't to say that it's a good price.
Yeah. I mean, but the normal like retail shop you go to, they were always like overpriced.
Yeah,
they were like mostly they were like pricier than Steam itself. Like when you buy like a game, it was always like 49 euros or something.
You're right, yeah.
And then on Steam you got it for like, I don't know, 39.90. But now, I don't know, in the last couple of like all these AAA titles on Steam, they are going for like 60 euros. Like the Division, for example, I bought the Division for the Division Gold Edition. I bought for, I don't know what it was, 47 euros. And it was 80 euros on Steam.
I see, yeah.
It's just weird. And it's not like it's, I mean, I get it when it's like the Division and you buy a Uplay key and you don't get the Steam key, right? That you have like the benefit of Steam.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like for Dark Souls 3,
although I'm sorry. Although the Steam key shouldn't be too expensive to provide.
Yeah,
like $1 or something is basically what you pay for a bundle of a couple games with Steam key. Pay what you want, humble bundle price, you know.
Yeah.
If you pay more than $1, you get a Steam key for everything. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because they do cost something, but it's just very, very negligible.
You know what I would like another reason for why it's so expensive on Steam. Because I remember when Elite Dangerous went on Steam, right? And then the Elite community guy, he was like, well, for everybody who wants to buy the game now, please consider not buying it at Steam, but in our store, because Steam takes like 20%.
Yeah.
So me as a publisher, like what would I do? I would say, okay, I would need the game on Steam because it's such a dominant platform. But if I offer it on Steam and Steam takes 20%, I'll just put 20% of the price on top of it in Steam.
Yeah.
And then sell like the normal price. They'll probably make a larger profit, right? If you like sell the keys to a reseller or Steam, you know, then they wouldn't have to charge 60 euros, but they could charge like 50 and would still make more money off that. If you know,
I agree. Yeah.
What I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know what you mean, and you're right. I would probably do the same way.
Yeah.
But you can even like disclaim that. You know.
What do you mean?
You can even say that if you want to have the normal price, then go to our website or go to our shop. We can't do anything but make it more expensive here, like something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what the agreements are with like Steam.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know.
Can they officially state that they should go buy somewhere else?
Good question. I don't know.
If they have an agreement.
Probably
with
not.
Steam.
That's probably one thing that is somewhere within that contract that you shouldn't do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, so if I'll buy DS3, I'm definitely gonna buy it like from a reseller or wait for a sale. Then.
Yeah.
And same with Scholars of the Synth thingy. I just saw you can buy the upgrade for like 25 euros from the standard game. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, I almost exclusively buy from resellers now. Because it's just, you know, why should I spend more money?
Yeah.
Than I have to.
No, absolutely.
And I remember, like, Scholar of the First Sin, I got it really cheap, and that's because these resellers, they like buy gift keys when the game is on sale. And then when the game is not on sale anymore, they offer the gift keys on these reseller sites.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you basically get the price for the sale all year round.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So you just started Rocket League, is that right?
I accidentally clicked on the thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know how long we've been recording.
I don't think very long.
Don't you think so? I don't know. Well, we have like 50 minutes from last time. Did you?
I didn't save that.
Did you see? Oh, you didn't save that? Well, that's not a problem. I did. Did you see like anything of the Daredevil TV series first season?
I'm not. I can't stand any American Marvel thing movie series anymore.
Okay.
I just completely lost interest in it. Is it good?
No.
Okay.
No, first season boring. I still watched it because I don't know why. Because I wanted it to be good because everyone said it was good. Second season I watched until episode 5 or 6 when I was sick. And I thought, okay, that's like that I can take that shit. It's not complicated. It's easy to easy to digest, and it's nice to look at. But it made me even sicker, so I had to stop watching. It was really bad. I think it's really bad. People are saying it's really good. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's weird. Is it still like the comic book bonus that these things get?
You mean like public opinion is so up on all the comic book stuff? Yeah, probably. Probably. I mean, it's even well acted. I know why I watched season 1 because I loved that what is it called? His like Wilson Fisk archenemy opponent in season 1. You know, I love to watch the actor play him. It was great.
Okay.
That was the one thing that kept me watching. And in season 2, honestly, all the people playing all the characters are really good actors and do a really good job, but it's just so boring. the writing is
story
just
is
yeah,
boring.
it's just so predictable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Oh, man, yeah. So there's this girl who plays Electra.
Hmm.
She's pretty hot and she's pretty interesting to watch, like, you know, and she really is pretty good as a martial artist, and that's like not easy to find, I guess, probably, you know. And everyone in this show, the action scenes are great. All the actors know what they're doing, and it's beautiful to look at. But it's still, the story is so predictable and boring. Oh man.
The hot actress, that's the red-haired one, right? I'm seeing right now.
No.
Okay.
I mean, she's extremely good looking, obviously, but I mean the Electra.
Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah.
I see her. Yeah.
She is like a I don't know, very multinational background and karate, or I don't know, probably more than karate, or maybe another martial art. I don't know, but she's a martial artist in real life. And the guy who plays the Punisher, I love him. I like to watch him, but the story is just boring and predictable.
I don't get it. Wasn't there like a movie called The Punisher, based on him?
Probably, based on the character, probably, yeah.
Okay. So it's like basically just the whole universe or part of it.
Yeah, it's all cross-referencing other Marvel properties.
Okay.
Nowadays, I think that's what makes it most interesting for a lot of people. That all the movies cross-reference each other in the series now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I totally get it. It's the same like with Stephen King's movies and shit. You know, they have like a huge bonus for me
Yeah.
when I watch them. If somebody wasn't into Stephen King and they would watch it, they were like, "Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What kind of crap is this?"
That's kind of this whole connected universe, like connected tissue.
Yeah.
Makes it more interesting for an insider to watch. If you know your shit, you get it's fan service all around. So a little bit, yeah. I agree. That's very attractive to me too. But I'm bored, and the movies are even worse. Everything that I've seen in the last couple of years just bored the hell out of me. Marvel. So Arrow, for example, is a good series because that's just a plain soap opera that doesn't try to hide that it's a soap opera.
Okay.
It's basically like, did you watch The Tudors?
No.
I'm watching The Tudors with my girlfriend right now, and I can't stand some of the shit that is going on there. But it's because it's all about fucking religion and fucking. So these two things, and that's probably what it was in real life too.
Yeah.
So that's okay, but it gets a little old, but it's still interesting to see how if that is close to what happened at the time in real life. It's interesting to see how the church split up and how different belief systems made their way from Catholicism to like building something on their own,
Yeah.
and how that worked. It's quite interesting, but to see the people living in that completely uneducated, what is Aufklärung in English?
Enlightenment?
Yeah, no, I mean, in terms of not living in a theocracy and letting people tell you shame and God and all that shit.
Yeah.
Hint to a society where people were.
Yeah, that's enlightenment.
Okay, I see.
Like you have in France the big
Okay.
enlightenment. Yeah.
Then that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, seeing people live in that world is really painful for me, but I still kind of like the series, and that's a soap opera too. Like on the base level, that's what it is, and Arrow the same, and that's interesting to watch because it's just these stories like in your standard trash soap opera that kind of keep you watching, keep you interested, and who's going to have sex with whom and who's betraying whom and stuff like that. And all the Marvel stuff tries to be something else, but it doesn't succeed in being like a higher art, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Mm.
So
it's like the Tudors, like that kind of show, that kind of not medieval, but more or less kings and queens kind of show. I'm really spoiled by like a Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
because there's this other show
for good reasons.
Yeah. There's this British show running on Netflix called The Last Kingdom. Mm-hmm. And it's got really good ratings, right? It's got like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and 8.4 on IMDb, and it's like a Viking, Great Britain, blah blah show. Mm-hmm. And I can't stand it. It looks so cheap. Like the actors look cheap, the settings look cheap. It's just like I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, it might be an interesting story, but it's just so cheesy the whole time because everybody's so clean and. Nothing looks really authentic.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like in Game of Thrones, which is like the perfect medieval style show.
I bet that's just that production value is hard to beat.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can totally see that. I just realized that I have a cat in here.
Oh.
Yeah, she's sleeping in like a. Cardboard box, and I thought I was alone. I've been listened to all the time.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, and then I watched another thing that bored me, which is Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it must be 7. Yeah, boring.
Wasn't good.
Well, it was
the same old stuff.
Yeah, same old. Just another Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
Fan service for the Star Wars crowd is probably what makes it stand out, and that's all great. That's all well done. But I'm not Star Wars crowd anymore, so I don't care about that kind of shit.
Yeah. I have no interest in like seeing that movie.
Oh, you should, because it's a good. Well, maybe you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, if I come across it like by accident, or I have it on my hard drive and I'm bored or something, I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good approach, I think. Because it is really well done. It is way better done than I thought it would be. It's a remake of Episode 4, basically, right? And I thought that would be terrible, but actually that's actually pretty cleverly done and pretty cool. And that's
a remake? I thought it was like a whole new concluding movie.
Yeah, it is. But the story is a complete rip-off of the story of Episode 4.
Okay.
It's like a remix, basically, of all the elements, of all the story elements in Episode 4, bringing it into kind of a new context. Mm-hmm. 20 years later, like a story repeating itself thing, which is kind of interesting. And visually it's great, and also acting is good. Like all of it is good, but it's just, again, the writing is just very standard Hollywood boredom fest. I can't stand to watch the same movies I watched like when I was 12 and 13 in the 80s and 15 and 16. Yeah. But it's all the same. The dialogue is all the same. Yeah, it's probably what appeals to the general crowd, maybe. Probably.
They're probably trying to get the fan service for all the old people, and then they are trying to attract all the new fans. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if I was 16, that would be my favorite movie, probably.
Yeah.
Or if I was like a 20-year-old stoner still, also, probably.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But when I watch something sober, I want to have like a little bit of... I want to be challenged like a tiny bit. I don't want art house only, you know?
Yeah.
But I want non-cringeworthy dialogues that I haven't heard like a million times over before.
Yeah. Yeah. And the same kind of stories and outcomes and...
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really watched anything. Have you seen the World of Warcraft movie screenshots?
No. I've seen the
pictures?
dwarf screenshot. That's all I saw. One screenshot with dwarves on Reddit.
Okay, yeah, I saw on Reddit they were like showing parts of the set, like a tavern and stuff. I'm really, I don't know, really eager to see how that is going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because basically they just copied the in-game style into real life.
That was my impression when I saw the dwarves. Well done, I thought.
Yeah, it looks like a Disney.
Looks like Puka, my dwarf princess.
Yeah, I remember
Priest,
her.
my dwarf priest.
Yeah. Yeah, so World of Warcraft got some shit lately. You hear about that?
No.
You didn't?
No, what happened?
Oh, Blizzard, there was like a vanilla server, like a privately held, and it had like 180,000 people playing. And Blizzard like sent them a cease and desist, or whatever you call a cease and desist letter, saying you can't do this anymore or I'll sue your ass.
I see.
And the whole World of Warcraft community went ballistic on Blizzard. It was like a big outcry on the internet.
Wow, that never happens. And,
Yeah.
And the result, they still had to close it down? Or?
Yeah.
And Blizzard said we need to protect our property and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I didn't
Which is
follow
true,
it.
by the way, probably.
Yeah, I didn't follow it that closely. I don't know if Blizzard responded or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my guess would be that you have to protect your trademarks. You can't just let anyone else like run a server of your game that just doesn't work legally.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose probably your trademark if you do it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what people weren't really complaining that they wanted to get rid of the server, but I think people were complaining about the kind of solution they chose. People were saying like, okay, why don't you like offer classic servers because so many people are interested in these, and like stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that makes sense actually. To offer that by them, I think if there's like 180,000 people playing on a non-legit thing, imagine if you could just choose that after your character, not after, but before you choose your character, you choose a server.
Yeah.
And there's a classic server in there that would make it way easier, and even more people would probably do it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Then kind of, I don't know, but you probably had to jump through some hoops to get there. To that other server.
I have no clue how that works. You probably have like some kind of client or...
Yeah. And for that, 180,000 is quite a lot, I think.
Yeah.
So there's clearly interest. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't really
definitely.
understand why, because I haven't played vanilla times, but thank God.
Yeah.
If I wanted to like lose weeks of my life grinding to get a character to max level, I would start vanilla server play through. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the problem was for like a lot of people that World of Warcraft as it is now is just there's no challenge anymore. There's like no real gratification for shit you do because you can like do anything from town or from a menu. You know, I mean, like leveling a character.
Isn't that the hyperbolic? It's really isn't. That's not how it works, right? You can do whatever you want and any difficulty that you want, right?
Yeah, but that's always like I don't believe in that because that would be saying like, well, if you want a challenge, why don't you just put a blindfold over your eyes and then play the game if it's too easy for you? You know what I mean? It's like people will always do what's in the game's means.
Mm-hmm.
Because like playing, like for example, if I would start saying, okay, Dark Souls is too easy, I will not use my jump button anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, yeah, but I don't know, that's kind of dumb. I don't
Dark
know
Souls
if
jumping again.
Well, yeah, but there is a jump button, so.
Yeah.
Did that on purpose. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because, I mean...
That would be dumb, but if you had the choice between easy, medium, hard, super hard, and you said everything is too easy, I want to play super hard, and you just choose it, that's something else.
Yes, yeah.
And isn't that the way WoW works now?
Oh, with the raids and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like all the other stuff, like leveling and the quests and dungeons and...
Okay.
I can understand that you want like a casual challenge, or like you want to work for something, even if it's just casually, and then, you know, when you accomplish that, you get some kind of gratification.
Yeah.
And like the casual game in WoW is you don't have to work for anything. You just queue up and then play. I don't know. It's
I
hard
understand,
to explain,
but isn't it
the...
preferable to queue up and play to have to organize everything like manually in chat?
Well, I mean, if you start organizing stuff manually in chat, you probably have like a bigger sense of community. You know, you get to know people. It's a more social aspect.
That's true.
There, which probably improves the overall game for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people really criticize Group Finder for that kind of stuff, right? That you lose your sense of community and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that is the big issue here. I think people were dicks before Group Finder and afterwards. But probably people on your like hacked vanilla server, and hacked is the wrong word, but who cares? They might be different. I can see that, for example.
Yeah, I mean,
or the community to vanilla at Vanilla Times might have been completely different because it was like something else compared to now, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just if you don't have any repercussions for being a dick, you know, a lot of people will be a dick. But if you remember, like Vanilla WoW and after that, without cross server, like everybody knew each other on a server. Like, if you were, I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but if people were being dicks, they were just known for being dicks, and then, you know, they would have a big problem. Like on the server, or people wouldn't group with them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But like now, when they started the whole cross-server dungeon finding thing, you can just do whatever you want. You won't see these people ever again.
That is
like ever.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like.
But also, you're not losing hours of your evening preparing something.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people like that.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, I think you're making a lot of valid points. But
it's not like that I prefer that, you know. I was cheering when they started the Dungeon Finder and everything, because I'm very lazy and I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Doing this myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see people like preferring that.
Yeah, and I have to agree with a lot of your points. There's some truth in that. Not only some, but a lot. Yeah. I'm just saying, people sometimes want stuff that is really worse because or they want stuff for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people like have this memory of Vanilla WoW, and they're like, "Oh, that was such a great time." And then they think, well, if we put the game mechanics back to its old state, we will have this good time again.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was not what made the good time. It was just like a time everybody was younger. You know, you were like in a different time of your life, and different community, and the gameplay, the game mechanics were like new.
Yeah.
The world was awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm kind of missing the world too.
Yeah.
Still sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes I do too.
I'm just the world building and the sense of exploration is what I'm missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss like the PvP too a lot. That was really fun. That is, I mean, Rocket League is one of those competing games, but like WoW was kind of more. I don't know what you say.
It was different.
More personal.
Yeah. Yeah, so
like you had your character and everything. And
we're gonna play a little more Rocket League today, but maybe not ranked because things weren't going so swell before.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we've been recording for like an hour now, I think, or like more.
Long enough.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Yeah. This is, by the way, a special Sunesha Sweden edition, and you can hear my cat scratching at the door also.
Why is it special Sweden edition?
Because Sunesha is going to Sweden, I think, tonight, and yeah, you know, he's living summers in Sweden and winters in Cyprus from now on.
Oh, no, that's nice.
Yeah, and when he arrives, it's gonna be middle of the night, but he probably can't sleep, so he needs to listen to this. He needs to be able to listen to this, so it's his special episode.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think so too.
Yeah, so Sunesha, close your eyes. Sleep.
Imagine Pred naked.
Yes, naked with my hard. Oops.
There it is, the hard thing.
Ding. Okay, goodbye.
He just came.
Yeah.
You did something right, Sunesha.
Yeah.
And now we can go to bed, because after masturbating, that's what we do, sleeping.
Yeah, do you remember like when you were like a teenager?
No.
Like when I masturbated, I was like really tired and I fell asleep instantly. And now it's like, okay, what do I do now?
No, it doesn't do that for you anymore. Now you have to go several rounds before you can sleep, or what are you trying to say?
I can. Several rounds is totally out of the question.
You're shooting or shooting blanks. Well, that's not related to what we're saying. What does that mean? Oh, when you can't have kids, right? Yeah.
Yeah, shooting blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're shooting.
No, I don't get that tired anymore. It's weird.
Huh. Maybe it's lost its spark.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, over the years.
Yeah.
So let's say bye, or
Yeah, that's it.
what do you think? Yeah, right. Okay, then see you again soon.
Soon.
Trademark. Bye bye. That's a Blizzard's thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon. Trademark.
Soon trademark.